GMs ask this question every draft is, okay, do we need to draft for team need, or do we take the best available player? And I was going to ask you guys that question. Like, if you guys were a GM and you were a top 5 pick, let's say you are the Jaguars GM, it's clear that the Jaguars should draft for the team need right now. They don't need the best player off the board at 5. But there's other teams that they need the best player off the board. So there's always that discussion of, do we just take that best player, or do we go and sell off our capital and draft back a little bit to get more needs? It's always an interesting discussion.
Grant, because when I'm thinking who would take Genty in the top 10, I'm thinking of teams that are drafting too high for how good I think they are. And I think the Jaguars severely underperformed last year. There are teams like the Jets, like the Raiders, like the Panthers that are drafting after them. I'd way rather have what the Jags have than what those other guys have that are drafting after me. So I think they're in a perfect spot to trade back and collect value. Or do you cash in on this? We got a free top 5 pick. The Jaguars might be one of those teams that, like you said, Grant, they don't have to draft for team need. Or no. You say they don't have to draft for best player available because they have a decent foundation. They want to draft for team need. Do you zero in on the best player that could help put the team over the top?
Chuck,
like
let me ask you a question.
Or like a Tyler Warren. I mean, is there a scenario where the Jags are taking a Tyler Warren and Ashton Genty, like a dynamite pick?
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that the Jacksonville Jaguars are one player away from winning the Super Bowl?
No.
Let me ask you, do you think the Raiders are or the Jets are? Do you think they're one player away from winning the Super Bowl?
No.
So my mantra on being a GM in the NFL, what I've always thought to be true, if you are a team in that draft area right there, where you're drafting guys that are kind of somewhat second tier, maybe first tier guys of the entire NFL draft, and you're not one player away, I'm all for drafting back, getting capital, trying to make sure your roster's rebuilt to that time when you do need that one player and you're one player away. Great. Let's try and cash in, use future picks, do what you can to try and upkeep and win your division, win in the playoffs, try and make that run, because you're not going to be able to just walk around in this medium the whole time of like, are we a contender? Are we not a contender? I think your team needs to be pretty understanding of where are we at today? Are we one player away? If we're not, how do we get multiple players instead of one? The year we're one player away, we'll go find that one player. We'll go buy that one player. We'll go use capital to get that one player. We'll go win a Super Bowl. Make it a window, because you can't be in this random window for the course of 5 years and never really win anything.
It's a good point. I think as far as like a GM aspect, I think a lot of the times you're drafting off need. I want to keyword a lot. But there's times where you need to go get the best player, and it depends on different teams, their situations. But an example for you, like last year that we even saw, the Raiders had Michael Mayer, and they ended up drafting Brock Bowers. That at that time, Michael Mayer was talked about as being a great tight end, and here comes Brock Bowers here to Las Vegas, which ultimately he uplifted the team. It wasn't their number one glaring aspect that they absolutely needed, but they went and got the best player. I think times it works out, but if I'm a team like the Raiders, and me personally, I'm looking at other needs, and I'm addressing that ASAP, and we'll find that dynamite player maybe with Vogel, like I said, with capital, or someone we're really, really deep on, and trade back for him or trade up for him. But a lot of the times these GMs need to go up need. At the end of the day, they need to keep their jobs. They run a huge risk of taking the best player because it might not work out. So why not put a positional piece or another piece to the puzzle of your team and continue to progress and understand that it's not a one-year thing where you're going to be a contender.